Hi guys, what's up? Thank you so much for watching Mostly Sane. I'm Prajakta. Welcome back to another Real Talk Tuesday video. This time it's a little different. It's not my house where I wish it was. It's gorgeous because it's a very special day today. This Real Talk Tuesday video is slightly more precious than the rest that we've had on the channel because today with us we have Sadhguru.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Thank you so much for joining us here. How are you doing today?
Bright and shining, just like the day.
I am right now. I am so nervous because in my head, like I've watched so many of your videos, and the one thing that really strikes with me when you talk is just your clarity of thought. You know, just the way you speak, and every word that comes out of your mouth makes so much sense. So thank you for having all those videos on the internet for people like me to watch and learn from. I have a lot of young people following me. We have people as young as.
No, I'm just seeing if a lot of young people are following you.
So I have a lot of young people following me. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And over these years, we have seen that a lot of them confide in me and in other creators. They confide in us like they would confide in a friend. And eventually, when after reading a lot of emails, talking to a lot of my viewers, I've realized that, you know, they are very lonely because they are young and they spend all their time on the internet. I, for one, grew up, I feel like I just made the cut by not having a mobile phone in my hand when I was in the 6th grade. What do you have to say about that? What do you think about the whole…
See, it's not just today, in every generation, there are some people who find good friends and there are some people who are lonely. Today, at least, even if you don't have a friend close by, you can still feel close to somebody by talking to them on the phone or texting them or reaching out in so many ways, which was completely absent in previous generation. Today, I think most people don't know how to handle their solitude. I'm just saying it's almost like a nervous reaction. It's like smokers, you know, if they have nothing to do, they'll smoke. It's all the cell phone people have become like that. If they have nothing to do, they'll pick up their cell phone and do something. I'm sure they don't have much to say but they're always saying something to somebody. I think one of the biggest losses is that people have forgotten how to handle their solitude.
Being alone or lonely is not a bad thing. Not always a bad thing.
See, you use two words, alone and lonely. Lonely is different. Being alone is a wonderful space. Lonely means you're longing to be with somebody, but that somebody is missing. That's lonely. Alone means you have found your own company very wonderful. When you're alone, if you feel miserable, obviously you're in bad company isn't it?
Speaking of alone and lonely, I feel like a lot of young people that I have come across or that follow me or I have had the pleasure of talking to actually feel more lonely.
They're grown old when they're young, if you ask me. They're not young. If you're young and exuberant, how will you feel lonely? You become like an old person, lonely, neglected.
But do you think that their dependency on the internet or technology sort of takes away from the fact that they think that it's better to write to a YouTuber and email about what they're going through than to go to a friend or family talk about?
You want to talk to somebody that you will never meet.
You want to?
Yeah, you want to talk to someone that you will never meet because you can say whatever you want. If you talk to your family, you talk to your close friend, every day you have to meet. And they might have made their own judgments, and those judgments, right, wrong, is not for us to judge now. But the important thing is, if you talk to me something very personal about your life, and if every day if you face me…
Oh, you're gonna have that energy that, oh my God, he knows a secret.
Yes, he knows it. This longing to talk to somebody about all your stuff in your mind, your emotions, is essentially coming from a certain inadequacy of your own existence.
Exactly.
This inadequacy cannot be handled with friendships. Friendship is only a balm, it's not a relief, it's not a solution. It is a balm which relieves you for a while. But You talk to one friend, it may last for a few hours, for a day, but next day again it's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is it that's missing within one's life is something we have to look at. People have not learned how to handle solitude, they do not understand the value of solitude. It is something anybody who wants to approach something profound in their life naturally seeks solitude, isn't it? Those who do not approach anything profound in their life are always doing ba with somebody.
Looking for…
It's not only people to fall back on, it's like letting out steam.
See, I'd never thought of it like that. In my head, I was always… because I grew up as someone, I still am someone as a person, you ask me anything, I'm gonna answer it. Like, I've never had secrets, or I've never felt like, ooh, I can't talk, I'm not comfortable talking about this to anybody. Like, I've opened up very easily, and I love having conversations, and I love meeting people. Which is why I was very confused with, you know, the whole young people saying that we can't talk about our feelings, or we don't like sharing our feelings, or, you know, we don't like expressing, you know, might as well just like, you know, if you think about it much, it's going to become bigger, which was so confusing for me as a person. I was like, what? I always talk, you know, talking is therapeutic. I think conversations just help things so much.
When you say talking is therapeutic, who needs a therapy? Only if they're sick, they need a therapy, isn't it? So we need to look at this. Why is this that we need a therapy right now? Because somewhere we have not hit the right lane within ourselves.
So, to fix that, we need to look within first.
Look within means what? People will start analyzing their own thought and emotion. Thought and emotion is not within, it's all outside. In the sense, the content of your thought, all collected from outside or no? The data?
Yes.
The content of your thought,
Yes.
whatever,
Yes.
all data from outside,
Yes.
isn't it? What you have seen, what you have heard, what you have smelt, what you have tasted, what you have experienced, all from outside. What comes from outside, you can own it and make it yours. It cannot become you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm asking this question both regarding your body and your mind, your thought and emotion and your physiology. Both you gathered from outside, isn't it? This is a heap of food, that is a heap of impressions.
Yeah.
So what you gather from outside cannot be you. So right now, most people are dabbling with their physiology or their psychology. Physiological structure and psychological structure keep them busy for an entire lifetime. If I have to gather something more fundamental must be there, isn't it, to gather that? If that fundamental becomes a living experience for you, then all this therapies is not needed.
Finding that one fundamental thing within yourself which will help you get rid of your inhibitions and all of that makes you think you need help or therapy. How do you get there?
Most of the time, people are sleeping through their life. When I say sleeping through their life, most of the stuff that's happening with you, physiologically, energy-wise, thought-wise, emotion-wise, is largely happening unconsciously. This morning you woke up. From that moment to this moment, okay, a few hours,
Yes.
your body has been active,
Yes.
mind has been active, emotions been on, energy has been on. How much of it did you conduct consciously?
None, I think.
It's well below 1% for almost every human being. When 99+% is happening unconsciously or accidentally, how can anybody be healthy?
I don't know. Are there… because I'm sure my audience wants to know that, and I'm just trying to figure… is there a way?
Of course there is a way. See, traditionally in this country, the language is such, action means we say karma. Karma means action.
Yes.
Physical action, mental action, emotional action, energy action is happening right now, this is what I said.
Yes.
4 dimensions of activity are happening for you. There is another dimension of action where neither body is involved, nor thought is involved, nor emotion is involved, nor the biological energy is involved. Such an action, we call it a kriya. It's an inward action.
Okay.
Outward action, what I can do with my body, what I can do with my mind and emotion and energy, this is called karma. Inward action is called kriya. The chances of karma becoming entangling is always there. People are getting tangled up with life only because of the activity that they perform, isn't it? One of the activities is talking. A whole lot of entanglement happens.
And I do that for a living, so…
Whole lot of entanglement happens only because people are talking, isn't it? Yeah. Right now, what you call as social media is just non-stop talking.
Yeah.
It is gossip gone global.
Yeah. Non-stop opinions,
Yes.
non-stop comments.
All this activity is entangling in some way if you do not conduct it with the necessary awareness. But the inward action is liberating in nature. This is called a kriya. So when you said, is there an exercise? It is not really an exercise because body is not involved, mind is not involved, emotion is not involved. A different dimension of the life that you are, fundamental life is involved. So this is called a kriya. If one every day touches something beyond their physiological and psychological structure, a space or a dimension beyond these two aspects, in that there is no turmoil. The only two kinds of sufferings that people know are physical and mental, isn't it? Do you know any other kind of suffering? There is no other kind of suffering for a human being. Physical suffering, mental suffering. For most people, it's only mental suffering. Physically, maybe an ailment or an injury or something sometime. Physically, there is pain. But suffering is essentially mental. If only, to put it very simply, if only your mind was taking instructions from you, would you cause suffering or joy to yourself?
Joy.
So obviously your mind is not taking instructions from you. So we are talking to people, we are trying to do therapies, we're doing all kinds of things. Essentially, what you call as suffering that people are going through is their own intelligence is turned against them, that's all. Once your intelligence is against you, no force in the universe can save you. Once our own intelligence has turned against us, isn't it?
Yes.
Suppose right now, my right hand starts punching my face. If some other hand tries to punch me, I have ways to stop it.
Yes, but you can't… yeah.
If my hand starts punching me,
Yes.
there's no way out of it. Somebody has to tie it down.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, somebody will have to amputate it,
Yes.
otherwise this will kill. Right now, that's what people are doing with their own mind. They don't need anybody's help. Most people don't need an enemy, they're doing fine by themselves.
Oh, like that. Okay, so I don't know, what you would suggest is in everyday life, sort of just try to be a little more aware of your thoughts, of your actions.
Then you will become maybe mentally alert. Mental alertness is not awareness.
Okay.
Mental alertness will make you survive better. Suppose you're mentally alert, you will drive better, maybe you will conduct your profession better, maybe you will do many other things better. But it doesn't matter how well you survive, you can still suffer. Compared to how people lived here 10 generations ago, today you're living like a queen, isn't it?
Yes.
In the history of humanity, we are the most comfortable generation, isn't it so? But are we bursting with joy, I'm asking?
And you know what gets to me really is about how young that starts. So last year I did this campaign called #IPledgeToBeMe, which was against body shaming, where on World Mental Health Day I actually made a video saying, hey you guys, you know what, if there's anything you're going through, anything you want to talk about and you don't have anybody to talk to it about, then here's my email ID, you can write to me, you know what, if that helps you feel better. And I got so many emails, but this one email stuck with me. It was by this 9-year-old girl who wrote to me saying she's suicidal because she's fat and dark, and her family thinks… she's 9 years old, and her family used to tell her that you're never going to get married. Nobody's ever going to marry a fat and dark child like you. So I feel like, you know, this whole thing where you start becoming your own enemy in your own head, I think that has been starting pretty young for a lot of people. When I was 9 years old, I didn't know how I looked.
Were you fat?
I was chubby. The double chin has been everywhere with me for the longest time. I was a chubby kid, but it never really came to my attention about what color I was or what size I was when I was 9.
The level of exposure today is such that what happened to you at 14 is happening at 9.
Yeah.
It's like preponed everything.
It is, yes.
So what happened probably in my generation at 18 happened to you at 14. What happened to you at 14 is happening at 10 or 9 now. So this rush to live…
To grow up.
To live.
Okay.
Essentially to live early, you know. Everybody wants to live, they think it's a race.
Yeah.
If life is a race, you must win. If you must win, you must get to the finish line quick.
First, yeah.
That means what? You must be buried first ahead of others. If you win the race, you're finished, isn't it?
Yeah.
So life is not a race, it's something we need to understand. Life is not a race, it is a certain phenomena. How profoundly can we experience this phenomena is all there is. It's not something that you have to do, it is happening. Life is happening, isn't it?
Yes.
How profoundly will you experience is all there is in your hands. Instead of that, we are trying to do life. You can't do life. Life is happening. Do you have access to experience it, or are you just a psychological case?
That's one way to put it, yeah. But yeah, I think I am so happy with how I had all these ideas in my head before I came, like when I prepared for my talk with you.
You prepared and came?
I was very nervous. I was like, I don't want to go there. And you have so much clarity about everything, and I was just like, I don't want to be the…
You know why? Because I'm life.
You are.
Yes, I am life.
Yeah, you are.
Most people are just a bundle of thoughts, emotions, ideas, opinions, prejudices, ideologies and belief systems. I'm just life.
I think that's a great way to live, by just being life.
That's the only thing you can be, rest is all imagination.
Especially if you're a YouTuber, then everything is imagination. Like I live and breathe so much imagination every day. But thank you so much. This has been great. I am so glad that I got to spend this time with you and I actually got to talk to you. It means a lot. And I'm sure it means a lot to all my viewers
Please,
also.
guide the young people right, huh?
Guide the young people right.
Young people right because they're messing themselves up too early.
Exactly. Which is why meeting you was… I was looking forward to it so much. And thank you so much for giving us your time.
Just take it.
And thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up. And don't forget, I come up with new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. And also subscribe to my channel, please. I'm gonna see you guys again on Thursday until we meet. Love, love.
One.